Welcome to Ancient Stoic Secrets, the place where timeless wisdom cuts through modern chaos. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you sat in silence, not scrolling, not reacting, but truly present with yourself? Today, most men aren't losing the war because they're weak. They're losing because they're distracted. 1,000 open tabs in their mind. Endless noise. The Stoics knew that the real enemy was never the world. It was within, the battle between clarity and confusion, discipline and drift. In this video, we're not chasing motivation, we're choosing mastery. This is a call to come home to yourself, to silence, to power. Take a breath, mute the noise, and let's begin. 1. The war is within. The battlefield isn't your job, your relationship, or your past. It's your own mind. Anxiety, exhaustion, frustration. These aren't flaws, they're signals. Warnings that your energy is scattered, that your focus is bleeding out. Most men today live split in two, who they are and who they pretend to be. The gap between those two is where the suffering lives. We've been taught to fight the world. But the Stoics knew better. The real fight is between the man you are and the man you avoid becoming. Stop chasing enemies outside. Start facing the unrest within. That's where strength begins, not in noise, but in quiet confrontation. 2. Drowning in voices that aren't yours. Before you've had your first thought in the morning, the world's already shouting. Notifications, comparisons, expectations. You scroll before you even breathe. Your mind becomes a crowded room full of voices, and not one of them is your own. This is why you feel lost, not because you're lazy or broken, but because you can't hear yourself anymore. You've forgotten the sound of your inner compass. The Stoics believed that peace begins with self-awareness, but that can't happen when you're tuned in to everyone but yourself. Want to feel grounded again? Turn down the world. Turn up your presence. Ask yourself, what do I actually think? What do I truly want? Then listen. That voice matters more than all the rest combined. 3. Focus is your sharpest weapon. Your mind is a weapon, but only if it's sharpened. Without focus, it rusts, it dulls. It forgets how to cut through the lies, the illusions, the endless distractions pulling you away from purpose. In a world full of noise, the man who can focus becomes rare and dangerous. Because he moves with clarity. He doesn't chase, he chooses. The Stoics weren't loud, they were precise. Focus doesn't brag, it builds. Discipline doesn't scream, it acts. When you train your mind to cut through the chaos, you stop being reactive and start becoming unstoppable. This is how you reclaim your power, not by doing more, but by focusing on less. 4. The illusion of progress. We've been sold a lie, that constant motion equals success. That if you're busy, you must be growing, but movement without direction is just another form of stillness, the exhausting kind. You wake up tired not because you worked hard, but because you ran in circles. We've mistaken activity for achievement. The Stoics saw through that illusion. Real growth isn't loud, it's quiet, grounded, purposeful. It doesn't come from chasing more, it comes from choosing better. Ask yourself, what have I truly built this week? If you can't answer that, maybe it's time to stop running and start realigning. 5. You're not lazy, you're misaligned. You're not lazy, you're misaligned. You've been sprinting toward things that don't matter, chasing applause that doesn't fulfill, piling on more apps, goals, and routines, hoping something will stick. But your soul isn't asking for more, it's asking for clarity. The Stoics knew that the man who knows his why needs very little else. But when you lose that why, even rest feels like failure. You don't need to hustle harder, you need to focus deeper. Strip away what's unnecessary, rebuild from the core. Real energy comes not from doing everything, but from doing what matters with intention. 6. Distraction is the silent killer. Distraction is today's deadliest addiction. Not because it hurts, but because it numbs. It doesn't strike you down. It quietly steals you. One scroll at a time. One quick check that turns into hours. Until you forget what being alive even feels like. The Stoics embraced pain, not because they liked suffering, but because pain wakes you up. Distraction lulls you to sleep. You don't need more dopamine. You need discomfort. You need to feel again, to listen again, to take back the parts of yourself you've given to endless, empty stimulation. Your life is not a feed, it's a fight, and it's time to return to the front lines. 7. Silence isn't emptiness, it's power. We fear silence like it's a threat, but silence isn't the absence of sound. It's the presence of focus. It's where you meet yourself without distractions, without filters, without the noise that tells you who to be. Real power isn't loud, it's quiet. It's the man who sits in stillness and listens, not to social media, not to trends, not even to ego, but to truth. Your truth. The Stoics didn't fear solitude. They used it as a forge, because in silence, your strongest self begins to speak. Are you brave enough to listen? 8. Ruthless clarity over endless hustle. More isn't the answer. Clearer is. We've confused ambition with accumulation. You don't need 10 new habits. You need one unshakable purpose. Seneca wrote, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." And that's the modern man. Online, connected, busy, but utterly lost. What if you stopped trying to be everything? What if you started becoming something? The Stoic approach isn't about hustle, it's about elimination. Cutting what weakens you, choosing what strengthens you. This is ruthless clarity. Not trendy, not comfortable, but necessary if you want to stop surviving and start leading. Number 9, you were built for this. The discipline you need isn't out there, it's already in you. It's just buried beneath years of noise, comfort, and distraction. You don't need to transform, you need to return. Strip away the unnecessary, cut through the lies. Reject the story that says you're not enough. You were built for stillness, for focus, for the quiet strength that doesn't need permission. The Stoic man doesn't ask for approval. He acts from alignment. And when you stop running, you'll find that version of you has been waiting in the silence all along. Number 10, the rebellion of stillness. Stillness is rebellion now. In a world that thrives on your confusion, your silence is strength. Every app, every ad, every urgent notification wants a piece of you. But you can choose differently. You can say, "No, I'm not giving myself to noise." This isn't motivation, it's war, a spiritual one, and your weapon is presence. Stillness doesn't mean doing nothing, it means doing the right thing. The Stoic doesn't waste motion. He builds from the inside out, and in his quiet rebellion, he becomes untouchable. You don't need to escape the world. You just need to stop letting it own you. You were never broken, just distracted. And distraction is the quiet thief that steals potential. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. So reclaim that power. Reclaim your time. Reclaim your attention. You don't need more hacks or habits, you just need to listen to what's already inside you. If this spoke to something deep within, subscribe to Ancient Stoic Secrets. This is where we return to what matters, together.